Hey mobile fire users. Before I start with the video, I'd like to apologize for a couple things. First, for not releasing any updates to the guide in a while. Second, for the lack of visual presentation during the video, mainly in-game footage. And third, for the Skype interface and the random clicking my computer may cause throughout the video. That being said, this is a guide revamp dedicated to my users who have been with me since Season 1, and for those of you that are now joining me in Season 3. It means a lot to me that some of my readers have stayed with me for over 2 years. Now that that's out of the way, I'm Incendiax. I consider myself an expert on Vladimir. I've played over 500 games as Vladimir against almost every single possible matchup, and here's the deal with him in Season 3. I've held out about talking about this for a long while now, but I figure that it's time for Vladimir fanbase to know about it. Before I discuss this though, I'm going to be giving a very brief overview of Vladimir's history. Vladimir's playstyle has changed vastly over the time that it's been released due to his nerfs, buffs, and more importantly, as the community's knowledge of the game has grown. When he was released, it was very common that he got a Rylai's Crystal Scepter on him and would stack tons of health and abuse his ridiculous passive that he had. It again shifted when people realized that his potential damage output with AP was amazing, and that by focusing on the AP to HP part of his passive, you could still have a boatload of health and still do tons of damage. However, his general playstyle has remained the same. We build him using tanky AP to compensate for his short range and maximize his slightly AoE kit. This traditional build is still viable, however there is a potentially massive playstyle shift that people are neglecting to pay attention to, even at a professional level. Most notably is during the League Championship Series, or formerly known as LCS, of 2013. Vladimir was played for quite a few games, and in one instance, a player purchased a Zhonya's Hourglass and the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. This allowed him to get great affordable spell vamp, survivability, cooldown reduction, all for a great cheap price. But he ignored the most potent part of this itemization. And before we continue with this, I'd like everybody to note that this strategy is most potent in arranged 5v5 matches. Moving forward, by itemizing for cooldown reduction and ability power, you can greatly alter his playstyle from the traditional tanky Vladimir to a more burst-oriented caster who's anti-carry, who can output insane amounts of damage while maintaining an absurdly safe approach due to the invulnerable mechanic on his Sanguine Pool and chaining it with Zhonya's Hourglass's invulnerability. The keystone in this build is cooldown reduction, proper timing, positioning, and more importantly, the fluid chaining of your abilities. Again, please note that 40% cooldown reduction in this build is achieved through having a blue elixir or a blue buff. It caps out at 29% with this item build. Before I delve any further into this, let's get a better understanding of the invulnerability mechanics that we will be exploiting today. Sanguine Pool offers 1.5 seconds of invulnerability, and Zhonya's Hourglass brings another 2.5 seconds of invulnerability to the table. Together, that's 4 seconds of invulnerability, but we're going to be spacing that out. We can further abuse this by getting a Guardian Angel, as it takes roughly 2 to 3 seconds for it to resurrect you. Getting 40% cooldown reduction is a staple in this playstyle. This will lower your spell's cooldowns to 2.4 seconds, 8.4 seconds, 2.7 seconds, and this one really doesn't matter what the shit, but 72 seconds, respectively. Your full rotation with this is going to be R, E, Q, W, E, Q, Zhonya's, E, Q, and if you don't have a Guardian Angel at this point in the game, then your combo stops. However, if you do, then it's extended with another EQ-W-EQ combo. This is, however, a best-case scenario, assuming that your team follows up with a proper initiation. Assuming that you have 0 AP and the enemy has no resistances, this combination will do over 3,000 AoE damage. The realistic number on this is around there due to your high AP and the enemy's resistances late game. Of course, the amount of times you'll have this perfect scenario is low, so you'll only be getting about 3 to 4 Q-EQ combinations in a regular game. Properly executed, you can drop the vast majority, even all, of the enemy team's health to half while potentially murdering the AD carry. And the best part about it is that they can do virtually nothing to stop you from doing this unless they dump assloads of their ultimates, crowd control, and summoner spells on you. This forces them to focus you, or else you take significant AoE damage. And if they do focus you while you're doing this, your other 4 team members have time to wreak havoc on them. This playstyle needs to be revealed, and I think it's very potent and people need to start playing it. However, I'm, like I mentioned earlier, very skeptical about it because I feel that Vladimir may get nerfed because of how strong this is. You can also adjust your build further with a Void Staff or a Deathfire Grasp, depending on the situation. That being said, I'd like everybody to just try this build, and give me some feedback on it, because I've spent a lot of time number crunching and trying to prepare this video, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. And please comment, subscribe, like, downvote, whatever your honest opinion is. Thanks, and I hope to see you on the fields of justice.